right, so it's a
Take the next left onto West
pretty
Road.
foggy night on the back roads of Pennsylvania. And we're heading out to a place that is pretty creepy, I must say. This place is called Downingtown Twin Tunnels. And they say that the Downingtown Twin Tunnels, it's actually 3 tunnels.
Continue on Westwood Road for 1 mile.
One of them, the Brandywine Creek goes under, a part of the Brandywine Creek. Another one is just a sand pit. And the third tunnel is the road that we're going to be driving on. Now, legend has it that when you go down into this tunnel, there's actually some air ducts that come down into the tunnel. And the grid to them is up on the railroad bed because this tunnel goes under railroad tracks. Well, like I said, according to legend, back in the 1800s, an unwed mother came out here with her baby. She tied a rope around her neck, and from the railroad bed up above, she leaped to her death down the shaft, down the air shaft. And of course, when the rope got to the end, she dropped her baby, and the baby fell to his or her death as well. Now, this baby is said to be heard crying out here in the tunnel. Now, not only is it the baby, but there was also another guy that hung himself. And I didn't get a year on that, but he hung himself on some kind of a cord that's out here in the tunnel. And they say that you hear him as well. And you can hear the snap of the rope as it would have snapped when he leaped to his death as well. Well, one thing that has been confirmed is a cold case that actually took place out here in the tunnel. And this has to do with a torso. They found a naked torso of a woman out here in a briefcase in one of the tunnels. Now, sometime later, 20 miles away, they found a pair of legs. And the legs were too far decomposed to see if they actually matched up, but they said that the bones did look like they matched, that they did go to the torso. When they found the briefcase, this woman was so recently killed that they were able to take her fingerprints and everything else, but they were never able to identify her. So there's some morbid drawings out here in the tunnel and stuff like that that people still talk about this legend. And oh,
here we are.
Here it is, the Downingtown Twin Tunnels. Now, hold on a second. Stop here, because you can see right here, there's the shaft. Okay, and I can't see. Can you turn on the high beams, maybe?
They are on.
Oh, they are on.
High.
Okay, there's the shaft with the cord that goes across. Maybe if I put down the window.
Yeah.
So here we are. You can kind of see the shaft out there. A flashlight would be helpful.
Yeah.
That was a weird sound, huh?
I think it might be water dripping on the roof.
Oh, okay. But here we are. So there's the shaft. Go ahead and pull under it a little more. There is a cord that goes right across the shaft, where I suppose someone could hang themselves. Oh, yeah. And looking up that shaft, yeah. Ooh, that is creepy. That is quite a height right there. Jeez. Oh, man. All right, let's continue down the tunnel a little bit. And just kind of slowly, just to see, because there's actually another shaft.
It is, right?
Is there another shaft, or was that the only shaft?
That's the only one.
That is the only shaft. Yeah, so that was the only option right there. So
that had to be it.
That did have to be it. But it's a very short tunnel.
It is.
That's for sure.
For some reason, I thought it was longer.
And the road does seem creepier on this side of the tunnel.
It is creepy. Wow. All these roads out here in this part of Pennsylvania are all very dark.
Yeah.
No street lights along the roads.
They are, and the fog doesn't seem as heavy. It's prevalent over this side here.
Yeah, not nearly as heavy.
Well, let's go back and find a way to turn around, and I'll see if I can take a picture up that air shaft there.
Yeah.
So here we are coming back up on a tunnel from the other side. Car coming through.
Oh, sorry.
And this is from the creepy side of the tunnel. Okay, here it is. Slow roll here. Let's see what's on this sign. The sign says something. Turn on headlights.
Yeah.
So that's there even during the day. I guess it's dark enough. And there it is. Look at the tunnel from here. Like, it's just, that's creepy.
It is, and there's a lot of land above the tunnel.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole lot of dirt up there above that tunnel.
Yeah, like this isn't, let me put the window down here once again. Kind of give you the ambience of the road. There it is. That's the tunnel. You go down into it, and then the creek is over here somewhere in the woods. All right. So here we go. There's like a constant fog in the tunnel here.
There is.
Alright, let's see. So you can see the cords. Like I said, the cord up above. That's the one where the man supposedly hung himself. Right? I want to stop under here. Let's see if I can get a picture up this shaft here. So we can see, and actually from here, I might be able to see it a little better. I don't know. Let me get a picture though. We got some cars coming in here. They said there wasn't heavy traffic up here. But
No. That's 3 cars right now.
look at this. Headlights on. Question
I guess
mark.
they're reminding you to turn them back off.
Yeah.
That is a creepy tunnel for being as short as it is, and
Yeah.
it's quite creepy.
It definitely is. We're going to stop off here in the Rams Diner. We passed this on the way to the tunnels. Stop in here and get some coffee.
Right, because so many of the diners that we pass nowadays are closed.
Yeah.
They're closed by, 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
So, but this one we have noticed was open, and we're like, ooh, an open diner.
An open diner. And other than Wawa, there's nowhere to get coffee.
Right.
Past like 9 o'clock. It's weird.
Yeah, plus I found that diner coffee is better.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely better.
It's not in a paper cup usually.
No.
We'll see. So,
We're actually out of the sticky buns. I'm so sorry.
Oh, are you?
Was there something else you might like?
Is there anything?
so there's no sticky buns, but there is the dark side of the moon. Oh man, look at that, huh?
Yeah, that is pretty nice. It's even got a little moon-shaped thing on top of
Yes.
the chocolate. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
But
it's the dark side of the moon.
yeah, but it's quite a nice-looking piece of cake here.
It is.
And I didn't bite into mine yet because I knew that Jeff would want to film it.
Oh,
So
of course.
let's see if I can get a nice little scoop.
Yeah, there you go.
And it is cool. I'm not sure if it's like a frosting in between the layers or if it's like kind of a, it seems more like an ice cream consistency or something.
So a fair piece of cake, huh?
Oh yeah, that's very good.
And I must say the coffee's good too.
It is. The coffee's quite good.
But talking about the Downingtown Twin Tunnels. What would you say about that experience? I mean, we didn't get out of the car.
No, we didn't, because I was surprised by the amount of traffic that was actually going through there. A lot of the tunnels we go to very late at night, and there tends to not be any traffic. This time, it was only about 10 o'clock, 10:30 or so, so, you still had a little bit of traffic through there, but it would have been nice to be able to get out, because it does seem like a really creepy place, even just driving through it. And I think that if we were able to park the car somewhere and get out and walk through the tunnel, it would have been even creepier. So it would have been kind of a cool experience. And then at the same time, you also have a little bit of a curve to the tunnel itself. So you get a little bit worried because you can't really see people coming from behind you and other cars. So you don't want to stop for too long underneath that air shaft that goes up to the surface. But it would be nice to kind of stand there for 5 or 10 minutes and see if you hear the baby cry or hear the the rope snap or something like that. Too bad we couldn't do that. But maybe if we were to come out like very, very late, maybe even early morning, sometime we might be able to do it.
So how does one go about investigating a tunnel like that?
Well, I think a lot of it would just have to be a digital voice recorder. I mean, you could certainly run a spirit box. You have to keep in mind that, the tunnels tend to amplify sounds, ambient sounds, and it's very easy to hear the ambient sounds and think that it sounds like, somebody speaking or something of that nature. They also say that the local foxes and wildlife and stuff crying and making noise at night could be an explanation for what they hear when they say they hear the baby crying. So I don't know, there's always that possibility too, but certainly we'd have to stand underneath that air shaft where everything is supposed to have taken place and try to run some audio right there, because I think that would be the best way to go about doing it. So it seems that this is a common story that we hear, is women hanging themselves from the local bridges here in eastern Pennsylvania and having their babies with them, sometimes throwing the babies over the bridge and then hanging themselves from the bridge. What do you think is the explanation for why there are so many stories like that? Do you think that it's one story that actually occurred and then a bunch of them sort of sprouted off from that? Or do you think that there was a bunch of depressed women around here in that day that were throwing themselves and their babies off of these bridges?
I think it's closer to the latter part of what you said. Not that there were a bunch of depressed women throwing their babies and but even now in the news, you'll hear a lot of stories about babies that were dumped, that were dropped. And nowadays, a lot of times it's various reasons. But if we go back to the time when these occurrences took place, this was an era where if an unwed mother, especially if it's an Amish country where some of them were Amish related and such, but even not being Amish related, back in the 1800s, a mother gives birth and she's not married, she can be shunned by her community, she can be looked down upon. It was not really acceptable. And for her, it was either perhaps this baby was born in private by a midwife and she had to get rid of it, or otherwise people knew about it and her life was so horrible that she decided to end it. So I think with a lot of these places, because you drive through a lot of tunnels, a lot of bridges I've come to in the middle of nowhere that I look at and I say, this is creepy, like this is the stuff that legends are made of, but there's no stories about it. And then certain ones, they do have stories about them. And it's a variation. It's not like all the ones with stories are in populated areas or near towns. A lot of them are out in the middle of nowhere. So there's nothing that really characterizes all these bridges, because like I said, there's some that are very similar that don't have stories. So I really think for a lot of the urban legends, I think there's a nugget of truth somewhere that led to the hauntings and the occurrences here and these places being rumored to be haunted. Plus, back in the 1800s, they didn't have placemats with ads on them, or someone could have come to the Rams Diner and seen this ad right here and not have had to have jumped from the train tracks and hung herself.